What's up, family? This Christmas. C. Davis on go. I appreciate y'all. Look, they got my logo right there on the hat. I appreciate y'all for tuning into this video. I'm going to give y'all my personal experience of being a medical courier, right? I know there's a lot of YouTube content out here that's, telling you the good, the bad, and everything in between on what it's like to be a medical courier. I don't know if everyone who's talking about it actually out here doing it, but as you can see, I got packages in my back seat. So I'm actually on the job right now. I'm actually in the middle of my route. So I'm gonna give y'all my personal experience, and again, thanks for tuning in. All right, so let's get into it. So first, I started off doing Uber. I still do Uber on the weekends or like on the days when I'm not running. But I started off doing that, and that was in 2022, right? I was doing that. I had another business I was running, and I was doing Uber on the side to like kind of, keep me afloat when that business slowed up. But as a medical courier, full time, I've been doing it for about 5 months. I got my first contract in March of this year, right? So what's that, about 5 months? My math might be off. Currently, right now, I have 2 contracts, but I only really occupy one, and that's mainly because it takes up most of my week. The other one is like 3 days a week, and so I'll just go do that to keep my relationship fresh with them, right? But I haven't done it in a minute, so. But to bring the point home, about 5 months. So firstly, let me precursor with this. I run in a SUV type vehicle, so that automatically is gonna debunk any type of claim that you gotta have a cargo or a Sprinter van to do this. You don't. I'm in the 2019 Jeep Compass. I did have a van. I had 2 vans, which they didn't hold up as well as I thought they would. So I've been operating out of my Jeep since I've been doing this. So my biggest challenge, so I'm just saying that to say that's not a challenge. Whatever car you have is gonna be perfectly fine. But the bigger your vehicle, the bigger your earning potential, or the more your earning potential. So if you can manage to get a Sprinter van or a cargo van, do it, because the bigger your vehicle, the more your earning potential is gonna increase. But my biggest challenges with this is, honestly, I would say it's just finding the right contract, right? Because it's a bunch of contracts out here that you can find, but a lot of times, you'll have to do them on the side, or they'll just clash with your schedule, or maybe they're not consistent. Maybe they'll have work. Like, there was one contract that someone offered me, but it was 3 days a week, and they only pay $150 for the route. For me, not enough for me. So the biggest challenge for me thus far has been just finding the right contract. Now, let me say this, because when I say that, I'm not saying that contracts is to each his own. But for me, I'm thinking like a business. I'm building my own business. C. Davis on go. My ultimate goal is to get into government contracting with my own team, right? So I'm saying that to say the contracts that I seek out, I look for scalability, right? I have 2 contracts, like I mentioned earlier. One of my contracts only allowed me to operate as one individual, right? Meaning only I can operate this contract, as opposed to the contract that I'm operating now, I can have people under me. That's great, and that helps me, or that puts me in a great position, because that allows me to build credibility. That allows me to build credibility for when I go seek out bigger contracts. I'll have a track record. I'll have a rap sheet. So that's my standard for when I go seek out contracts. Can I scale with this? Can I build with this company? Like, is this something that I can do for the next year and a half, 2 years? Build with them, build my own team under them, or build my own team with them, and build this relationship and cultivate this relationship, and have something that that's going to be tangible for years to come. I want to give a shout out to a content creator that I found, and she goes by the name of Elo. Her YouTube channel name is Elo Honey Bun, and she made a video. I watched it, and she named a company called Associated Courier. And when she mentioned this company, I instantly got up, got on my computer, and I went to go fill out the app. Well, I went to their website, and I just kept going on there every single day because at the time they didn't have anything, no contracts available. So every day I was just going on their website, and then when they finally popped up in my city, I applied and I got the contract. So I want to give a shout out to her, and I'll leave a link to her channel in the description. Um, but how I typically find contracts, man, I just go on Indeed.com. I just go and I also use CB Driver and honestly Google. Sometimes you got to dig a little deeper. I'm not saying Google just gonna here's a contract, apply. No, but they will give you, a premise, and you go in and you dig a little deeper. And then YouTube content creators, like I said, Elo Honey Bun and Dayron Myers. I watch a lot of his content. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with him. I'm actually in his community, and I've been getting a lot of information, and I've been getting a lot of uh, insight on this business and this industry. So shout out to him too, right? So YouTube content creators helped me a lot, and they still help me. I still watch a lot of YouTube content. Now, what are the best type of contracts that you should seek out? Again, this is all subjective. So if this is something, let me just say this. If this is something you just want to do on the side and just make extra money, then I will honestly say, man, just try whatever and just see what you like. And because you may not even like this type of work. Like, I think this is one of those things where, because it's so accessible, everybody's trying to do it, but you got to be built for it, man. Like, I get up at 4:30 in the morning, and sometimes I don't finish until 5, 6 p.m., but I'm okay with that. But the best type of contracts for me personally is, I like, kind of like I mentioned earlier, I like contracts that allow me to scale. I am big on that. I need to be able to scale because I'm building a business. I'm not here to just be a worker. I'm not here to just clock in, get my paycheck, and go home. No, when I walk into the warehouse, I'm asking questions. I'm meeting people. I want to know who's who, what's what, and how do things work. And I'm not afraid to ask questions, And if I ask a stupid question, just give me a stupid answer. That's just how I feel. Um, but I'm building a business, so my criteria is, hey, can I scale with this company? Can I scale with this business? And I'm going to do my research on this company. I'm going to see who owns this company. Who's the who runs dispatch and how do they work, and do my research. And what that allows me to do when I find a company that I'm genuinely interested in building a relationship with long term, what that allows me to do is, stick around and like have some type of loyalty towards them. Now, the big question: how much do I make? Or how much can you make? Again, I told y'all earlier, I'm running in the 2019 Jeep Compass, so that's translation for I'm at entry level, just because of the vehicle that I got. It has really nothing to do with your experience because you're not really doing much. You're just delivering packages. So your vehicle is gonna determine what level you at, right? So I'm at entry level because I'm in a SUV/sedan. I make roughly about, on average, about $250 a day, and I work. While I'm operating, see, I try to watch my language. I operate from Monday to Friday, sometimes on Saturday. And I do around $250 a day. How I get paid by the stop, per mileage. $1.90 per stop and 69 cents per mile. When I first heard that, I was like, that don't sound like a lot of money. But when you driving 200, 250, 300 miles a day, it adds up. So And also, like today, I got 58 stops, right? So you times that by $1.90, and I'm probably gonna drive another 220, 30 miles. You know, this is probably gonna be another $300 day. That's how much I'm. And again, keep in mind, I'm in an SUV. So imagine if I had a bigger van, how much my earning potential would increase. I personally would say that I do pretty well. Do gas costs? Yes, gas costs. Do I got to get oil changes? Yes. Do I have to, keep my car maintenance up to date? Yes. And I do that because it's important, because this is my money and I can't neglect the very thing that's making me money, which is my vehicle. So yeah, so keep that in mind. But manage your expenses effectively and you should be fine. So that's my personal experience as a medical courier. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I want to get better with these videos. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This is probably like my 11th attempt at making this video, and I hope y'all get some value out of it. Leave a comment and let me know what y'all let me know y'all personal experience, and ask me questions. Ask me some questions. Whatever you want to ask me, and I'll do my best to answer. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll see y'all next time.